All right, so this video is to help you with improving your observations section of your COSI paragraph. We always want to make sure that we introduce quotes, and we've been working on that since the very beginning of the school year. If you have a paragraph with quoted textual evidence all by itself in a sentence, that's called a naked quote. So here I have an example for you, and notice here, there's no introduction to the quote. It's just period, then quote. So what we want to work on is having an observation that includes a speaker, a listener, and a plot clue as the observation prior to the quote itself. So we've been working on No Red Ink, identifying the speaker, listener, and plot clue. So the speaker is who says the quote. The listener is to whom the speaker is speaking. And remember, we've talked about how this can be someone talking to him or herself. So you might use the word aside when we're using this with Macbeth. A plot clue tells when, where, or how something happened in the plot. So in this first example, it's a plot clue that tells where. So if you notice here, I started with a preposition from the back of the house, comma, Joseph yells to Gianna, comma, let the dog outside. When I start with this plot clue, this prepositional phrase, notice I have a comma after that introductory phrase. If I move that same plot clue after the speaker, you're going to need a comma before it and after it. Plot clues can also tell when something happened. So I take that same sort of sentence and I move it here and I'll say, while running, comma, Joseph yells to Gianna. Or if I move it in the middle, Joseph, comma, while running, yells to Gianna. You can also use what's called an adverbial phrase. Adverbs typically end in ly. And so here they tell how something happens. So rudely, Joseph yells to Gianna, let the dog outside, right? Or you can take that same one and flip it around. Joseph, comma, rudely, comma, yells to Gianna. You can also use what's called a gerund. A gerund is a verb form that ends in ing. Notice it ends in ing here. So we take the verb run and end in ing, it becomes running, okay? Gerunds tell us how something happens. So here we have running late, Joseph yells to Gianna, let the dog outside. Or Joseph, running late, yells to Gianna, let the dog outside. When you put in a plot clue in a sentence, it does matter where you put it in the sentence. Typically, the plot clue modifies the speaker, but however, it's not always the case. Wherever you do put it, however, it needs to be next to the thing that it does modify. So here we have a sentence about Macbeth. Our speaker, Lady Macbeth, is rubbing her hands, right? So we have this sentence here, the doctor hears Lady Macbeth, comma, repeatedly rubbing her hands, comma, cry, out, damn spot. That one's done correctly. If you took that same plot clue and moved it beside the doctor repeatedly rubbing her hands, right? The doctor's not the one rubbing her hands. It's Lady Macbeth. So it matters, you guys, that we put the plot clue next to the item that it describes. So what I want you to do today is I want you to go back through your body paragraphs. You should have 4 of them. I want you to check your quote observations. So you have 4 paragraphs and you should have 2 pieces of textual evidence in each body paragraph. So you should have 8 quote observations. And I want you to look and see, did you include the speaker, the listener, and the plot clue? Go ahead and highlight those items you do have using the directions that we have here and follow them. If you did not have something, you need to add it and then highlight it appropriately after you add it. Then check your plot clues. Do you have enough detail to help the reader understand the context of how, when, or where? Did your plot clue modify the appropriate person? Again, Lady Macbeth's the one washing her hands, not the doctor, okay? Finally, edit and revise as necessary, and then post your highlighted draft to Google Classroom. You may begin.